Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today we're taking a look at this Toro Titan zero turn. It's got the MyRIDE suspension on it. Customer brought it in and says that it runs for about 45 minutes to an hour and then it dies out on her. Almost seems like it's running out of gas is what she says. This symptom I see on these zero turns and riding mowers and everything else is almost always the same cause. I'm going to take you through the full diagnostics and repair process to get that taken care of. If you have the same or a similar issue, whether it's on your Toro Titan MyRIDE version of a zero turn, a riding mower, or anything else out there, don't forget to hit those like and subscribe buttons as we go along if you enjoy the content. With this being a V-twin engine, cylinder on the right, cylinder on the left, the problem is not going to be ignition coils failing, as many people are going to try to make you believe. Almost always, the problem is fuel delivery. So what you can do is you can take the cover and the air cleaner out. As soon as you start to have that problem and it shuts down on you, use a little bit of carburetor cleaner or starting fluid in the intake, directly in, and see if it'll stay started when it cuts out. If it will, you know the problem is that you're not getting fuel. Almost every single time, you're not getting fuel when this issue happens. Not getting fuel is normally only caused by two issues. Either there's a restriction in the line, or the fuel filter, or somewhere going into the tank. That or the fuel solenoid on the bottom of the carburetor is bad. So if you were to pull the fuel line off, right here going to the carburetor, you could put another line on there and put it into a container and see how fast of a flow you're actually getting. Right now, everything is cool here. I'm just gonna turn it over to kind of show you what kind of flow you should see. So that's pumping out of there. I'd say halfway decent. It's maybe a little bit less than I'd expect to see on something like this. Normally they'll actually shoot a couple feet. So it could have a restriction, and that's where I lead to first. The fuel solenoid can heat up and shut off. I see that a lot less likely or a lot less often than there being a restriction in the line. So start with the restriction in the line, work our way backwards. Start with the fuel filter, make sure the line from here to there is blown out. Fuel filter is good, or replace it, and then work our way to the other lines going into the fuel tank, all the way back. So we know that there's not a restriction. When it dies out, if we check this flow and there's zero flow, obviously we know there's a restriction, or the fuel pump has went bad, which is also very unlikely to work for 2 hours or an hour before it goes out. Sometimes these time frames kind of vary. But if we're getting good flow when it dies out, then that would lead us to believe that the fuel solenoid is actually the problem. Pretty quick diagnostics. On this setup, since it's so common, we're gonna skip right to the pickup tube where it goes into the tank. That's where it's almost always clogged at. To get to the fuel tank pickup tube, we need to actually remove the seat. To do that, hey, it seems easy. There's 6 bolts that hold the seat plate on, but you can't get this middle one out. There is, however, a 3/8 bolt down at the bottom. What that does is that comes up through and that stops the seat from sliding all the way forward and up and out of the notches. We need to take that out, and that'll remove the lock so we can actually just slide the seat forward and it'll come right off. I do have the tank cover here removed just to show you this, but you don't have to do that to get that bolt out. You just have to find it first. I'm using just my right angle to get in there. See if I can keep that light where it's supposed to be. The bolt came down along with this lock. The lock just kind of turns and comes straight out. And to put that back in there, you just kind of go up and turn it, and it locks right back into place. Now basically we move the slider all the way to the left, and the seat will come forward enough to come all the way off. And you do have seat switch hooked up to the bottom. Just pull that tab out a little bit away from the notch and remove the seat completely. I removed the 6 screws around the outside edge just to get a better view. It's got wiring attached to it. You don't have to do that though. There's plenty of access to get down in there. Looking here now, I can see my fuel line and the EPA line. That's what I like to call it. That line just goes back to the intake of the carburetor, and it vents any fumes that may escape the tank into that intake, so they're recombusted instead of just going to atmosphere. That line really never gets plugged, but you can check this line going up front to the intake just above the carburetor. Let's blow all this off and pull that pickup tube out and see what it looks like. There goes one of the tabs. So that's always fun. Take and twist that first, makes it easier to come off. Let's see what we have in here. Don't really see anything. Look at all that. Dirt, debris, grass. I think there's still some more in there. It's clear now. But all that basically gets stuck right here where it goes from a 1/4 inch down to this smaller, maybe 3/16 or so. And those pieces of grass can't make that turn. So they get caught up in there, and all it takes is a couple little ones, and then everything else that gets up in there gets plugged behind it. That wasn't nearly as bad of a plug as I usually see, but it'll definitely do it. Hook up an extractor now. Take the grommet out. I'm going to use it just to get what remaining pieces of debris are in the bottom of that tank out. I can see right down in there. There was a bit still stuck down in there. Wasn't a ton from what I could see. I'll install a new grommet while I'm right here. It's an 07-392 Oregon grommet. Make sure your pickup tube is extremely well blown out. like to just snip back maybe 1/4 to 3/8 of an inch of the fuel line so it seals in a different spot. This one was bad as far as the fuel line clamp goes. Got a new one for it. I'm going to remove the fuel line off of the fuel filter up here and blow that line out. We already found our limited flow, but say you don't find anything there. You can kind of see what the flow is at the fuel filter. If you just blow through that line with some compressed air. See if I can't get this actually inside the fuel line a little bit. Pull this up. Seems like it has a pretty restricted flow. I'm letting a lot of air through it and hardly anything's coming out. Not nearly as much as I'm putting in here. Fuel filter definitely doesn't seem in great shape either. You can see just looking straight down in there, there is a ton of debris in that filter too. It's in pretty bad shape. You can see black all down straight through the center. It was pulling a bunch of that stuff up there before that elbow got clogged too. Finished blowing that line the rest of the way out. Now you can hear the full volume. Cut each of these lines back just a hair again. I'm using an 07-103 Oregon fuel filter. This filter is a little smaller in micron size. The one that is originally on it is a 40 micron, and this one is a 30. Just provides a little bit better filtration. Along with that does come clogging up quicker though. But as much debris as we're seeing we're getting in this tank, I think it's well worth it. I talked to them about making sure that they get all their cans and everything emptied out. I'm not worried about anything from the filter, the carb at this point. That was filtering it real good. If you still have issues after you replace all this or you want to just be thorough, go ahead. Blow all that out. That's perfectly fine. It's not going to hurt anything to do that. Same thing with while we're right here, following the EPA line. That's that other one going to the fuel tank. Up to the front and blowing it out is never a bad idea. Pay attention down here. There is actually a little coupler where it goes from 1/4 inch to a smaller 3/16 line to the front. This is not like a check valve or anything, but it does reduce it in size dramatically. It's just got a tiny hole right straight through the center of it. That's just what allows it to vent. So you can blow out from here to the front and from here back to the tank. You want to have it disconnected in case you've gotten a mud dauber or something up in there. But without it being able to vent, since the fuel cap doesn't have an actual vent in it, could be your cause. If you've got a mud dauber or something clogging up that line. Before I put this seat back on, I want to show you exactly what we're doing with our lock here. It's basically going to come down and through on the backside and be turned around. And then, so it's going to sit below here just like such. And then our bolt's going to go up through that hole and into here. And that basically just makes sure that you can't just slide the seat forward and remove it. Pretty easy to do. Seat switch first. I'm going to line all my holes up. While I move my adjustment lever over, slide it back in, and now I'll reinstall that plate with the bolt down below. With everything reinstalled, let's see how far we actually get the fuel to shoot. It isn't even fully primed yet. Let's look over here. We got fuel shot. Actually shot at the furthest point, about 4 foot away. It's a lot better flow than what we were originally getting. Well, fairly easy fix, except for having to remove this seat, and most of them aren't going to be that hard to access. You can get right in there, pull that pickup tube. I like to start there when people tell me it's been 45 minutes to an hour when it shuts down, and it happens pretty consistently. Sometimes they'll vary, you know, one time it'll be half an hour, the next time it'll be an hour. But when they tell me that somebody else has looked at it and done this or that, which I'm not sure I believe that because the fuel filter wasn't replaced, but I like to start there. You can work your way from the carburetor backwards just to make sure you're not doing all this work, especially if it's one that's kind of difficult to get to for the pickup tube. But I see it very often, and that's almost always what it is. It's never that it's heating up and losing compression that I hear all the time. It's never that the ignition coils are heating up and cutting out. Both of those coils will run independently. They're not both going to go down at the same time. Could be the fuel solenoid. Again, use that testing when it goes out and make sure it is fuel that you're actually using if you want to do it that way. But fuel solenoid, if we're still getting good flow and we know the fuel quality is good, then that would point you in that direction. Anyway, hopefully this has helped you out if you had the same or a similar issue on yours. Get yours all traced down, or if you needed to remove the seat on this, I do see those comments all the time, and people ask me all the time how to remove these because of that tricky little stop there. Don't forget to hit those like and subscribe buttons if you enjoyed the content. Thanks so much for watching, and have a great rest of your day.